Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh constantly monitors rescue operations at None. GOC in C Eastern Command Lieutenant General R.P. Kalita rushes to Tupul for second day in a row to monitor operations. Assam Minister Piyush Hazarika to visit None tomorrow. Team Northeast Live interacts with family members of those trapped. Pall of gloom descends on None area as rescue workers race against time. Flood situation continues to remain grim in parts of Assam. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma takes stock of situation in Barak Valley, focus on pumping water out of residential areas. Crackdown on terror in Guwahati. Fierce encounter between security forces and rebels in eastern Assam's Tinsukia district. One suspected Ulfa independent cadre gunned down by forces. And crackdown on terror in Guwahati. Dispur police arrest one with jihadi links, incriminating documents found. Very good evening to all our viewers. You're watching Evening Prime. I'm Ronak, and we begin the bulletin with the biggest national story, the Manipur tragedy. Well, relentless search and rescue operations continued at Tupul in None, where a massive landslide buried over 80 people, most of them territorial army personnel stationed at the under-construction None railway station. As many as 11 bodies have been recovered today, taking the total number of recoveries in the last 36 hours to 19. However, the biggest concern here is that over 60 people are still feared trapped under debris, and the chances of survival as per the rescue workers are minimal. Well, it's a race against time for the over 250 rescue workers engaged in the operations, which are being monitored by the top civil and army authorities. An additional NDRF team from Nagaland joined the rescue operations, while another team of the NDRF is rushing in from Silchar. At least 65 people are feared dead as Manipur witnessed one of the region's worst natural disasters when a hill came hurtling down and buried a railway construction site before dawn on Thursday. Meanwhile, amongst the 19 people rescued so far, 13 are territorial army personnel and the remaining 5 are civilians. So yes, viewers, the biggest national story, the Manipur tragedy that we have been relentlessly tracking since yesterday. Search and rescue operations continued at the Tupul in None district, where a massive landslide buried over 80 people, most of whom are personnel of the territorial army stationed at the under-construction None railway station. Well, as many as 11 bodies have been recovered today, taking the total number of recoveries in the last 36 hours to 19. However, the biggest concern remains that over 60 people are still feared trapped under debris, and the chances of their survival, as per the rescue workers, are minimal. It's a race against time here, viewers, for the over 250 rescue workers engaged in the operations, which are being monitored by top civil and army authorities. An additional NDRF team from Nagaland joined the rescue operations, while another team of the NDRF is rushing in from Silchar. At least 65 people are feared dead as Manipur witnessed one of the region's worst natural disasters when a hill came hurtling down and buried a railway construction site before dawn on Thursday. And meanwhile, amongst the 19 people rescued, 13 are territorial army personnel, while the remaining 5 are civilians. So yes, viewers, what you see on your screens are some of the defining moments from the rescue operations that have been conducted today. Of course, rescue operations began from early in the morning hours and continued right after until it got dark. And of course, then thereafter, the rescue operations were called off for the day. However, these are some of the visuals that you see on your screen, some of the defining visuals. As you can see, relentless search and rescue operations were conducted throughout the day in the Tupul area, where you can see JCB machines at work. There are NDRF, SDRF personnel relentlessly searching for and rescuing people. And of course, a Northeast Live is also present at Ground Zero to bring you all of these latest updates as and when they broke. All right, we have a breaking news coming in at this point in time. A body of one more person who went missing in the devastating landslide in None has now been recovered. Yes, viewers, the deceased has been identified as Harmohan Deka. It may be mentioned here that bodies of two other persons from Assam, namely Gopal Fukon of Lahori Ghat and Jiarul Haq of Bojali, have also been recovered already. So another breaking news coming in at this point in time, a big update in fact, as the body of one more person who went missing in the landslide in None has been now recovered. The deceased has been identified as Har Mohan Deka. It may be mentioned that the bodies of two other persons belonging from Assam, namely Gopal Fukon of Lahori Ghat and Jiarul Haq of Bojali, have also been recovered. And Northeast Live teams were on the ground bringing you minute to minute updates of the entire rescue operations. Of course, our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, reporting relentlessly from Ground Zero, as also our correspondent from Imphal, Sharat Chandra, both of whom have been on the ground relentlessly bringing you all the minute to minute updates. And while our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, was right there where the rescue and the search and rescue operations were being conducted, he was there minute to minute bringing us all the latest updates. And also had our correspondent from Imphal, Sharat Chandra, who also got in touch with some of the grieving families who have lost a dear one in this devastating tragedy. As you can clearly see, both these persons from our channel Northeast Live, Arindam Das, our Chief of Bureau, as well as our Imphal correspondent Sharat Chandra, bringing you all the minute-to-minute updates of the rescue operations that have been carried out today. Relentless operations that were underway since early morning today. And of course, our persons were right there at Ground Zero, bringing you all the updates as and when they happened. And yes, as you can clearly make out from the visuals themselves, viewers, the location of the landslide disaster is by no means a child's play. That is, of course, where our Chief of Bureau, Anandam Das, was standing by, bringing you all of the latest updates. Of course, a very, very precarious situation to be in. However, he relented and brought us all the latest updates. Now, let us listen in to some of the reactions.
48 hours have elapsed since this massive landslide took place at None district of actually the Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place. There was a camp of the territorial army. There were camps of the railway employees who were engaged in the construction work. There were officials of the railway. There were also local people who were here running some small businesses at around 2 a.m. in the morning. This took place and it buried everything that came in the way. So this is an entire hill which has collapsed. I can show you. That's the hill, and we are right now standing on the middle portion of this hill. And from there, the landslide started, and it came down all the way, and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. There, it was a small river. There you can see downstream this is the None River. Actually you can see it's like a dam, but it's not a uh, stream called None River, and the mountain blocked this river and a dam was created, so that could have also created a catastrophe. But right now, using heavy earth movers, the blockages are being removed so that the water can flow out, so that there could not be any flood like situation in the downstreams. There are fresh landslides taking place. You can see on the camera there are fresh landslides taking place right now in this area. So this is one of the challenges yeah. So fresh landslides are taking place. The weather was inclement till yesterday. It was raining heavily. It is only today that the sun has shown up. So it's a sunny day today. So the rescue operation is going on in full swing. But it might rain anytime, which might again hamper the rescue operation. And the location is very remote, and we are yet to reach the actual location where the territorial army camp and the railway official and the employees camp is located, because this mountain has blocked the way to that location. So
So that was, of course, our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das, who was right there alongside the rescue workers all day, bringing us minute-to-minute updates. And meanwhile, we also had our Imphal correspondent Sharat Chandra bringing us all the constant reports from Ground Zero. Let's have a look.
Earlier, we are just on the this Nation Highway side, that is the Imphal Jiribam Road at Tupul area. Now we have trekked down more than 3 kilometers, leaving our vehicle on the roadside only, and just traveling around about more than 3 kilometers. Now we have bridge at the riverbank of the Izai River, and you see in the middle of the this riverbed. Now rescue operation is on. You see, and latest development is the earlier, the rescue operation and search operation was carried out manually, but you see already one excavator, one heavy machinery is now just bring into the riverbed, so that the this rescue operation can be carried out using this heavy machinery like excavator. So you see the large number of this NDRA personnel and the territorial army personnel can be seen carrying out the operation. They have carried out the operation manually, but now as the excavator already been brought into the middle of this Izai River, I think this excavation work will be carried out by using this machine, and this rescue operation is likely to speed up by joining by this one excavator. You see, I'm on the just. We have bridged Northeast Life team have bridged the riverbank of Izai where the rescue operation is on. On the above, you can also can see this rescue operation. The large number of territorial army presence here. Already three excavator already put on service. The excavation work is carried out just so that this rescue and search operation can be speed up. And I also want to show the viewers that you see on the top of the hill, you see this is the Marang Singh, this is the Tupul, this is the Tupul railway construction campsite. On this, you see in the top of the hill, and this massive landslides just started from the top of the hill, and heavy this debris came down, and the entire structure of the this Tupul railway station construction campsite, 90% of the construction this came under this heavy debris, and now it is almost covered by the heavy landslide, heavy debris. Now the rescue operation is on, and the large part of debris is also deposited to the Izai River bed. That is the reason here you can see the large presence of territorial army and the NDRF, now joined by the one heavy machinery like excavator for the rescue and search operation.
Sharat Chandra there, are the correspondent from Imphal, braving the risky location, braving the precarious conditions, just to bring us all the minute-to-minute relentless updates from Ground Zero. As, of course, our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, also reporting constantly from Ground Zero, because of which we have these sensational visuals on our screens. And Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh visited the tragedy site at None for the second day in a row today to take stock of the rescue operations. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, Chief of Bureau Arindam Das, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh informed that the state government is doing everything possible to assist in the rescue operations. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh also informed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also inquired about the situation.
It is very sad. It is the first time happening in the state of Manipur, this type of disasters. And we are really feel very, very sad, and we have lost many precious life around 2024, civilians. and mainly our territorial army personnel lost their life, and some has found recovered, and 13 people found alive, rescued, and still in the under the mud. We are having around 59, 7 people are still. So we are very difficult to get inside the Azak area, Azak location, due to the muddy slide facing there, and we are organizing both from the state government and from the army and some rifles, and the local people are also supporting like anything to recover the dead bodies, and I think it may continue 2 3 days more because we are not able to cross the this roadside, and I conveyed my deepest condolence to the family of the victims, and I also share their sorrow. And the state government has announced to compensate the person who lost their life. Uh, Everyone will get, including the civilian, 5 lakhs each, and those who injured, they will be given 50,000s. And our government teams, along with the army and Assam Rifle, will be camping here till the body is totally found.
So, what is the exact number of people who got buried in the debris? The number of people rescued alive? The number of people still feel trapped, and how many dead so far? What is recovered?
Uh, as of now, a total was 81, and 81 bodies, but 24 has already, uh, 18 has already recovered, and six body, six dead body recovered.
So that was, of course, the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh talking to our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das earlier in the day. And of course, the Chief Minister Biren Singh at Ground Zero himself and personally monitoring all the search and rescue operations that were carried out throughout the day. And of course, some grim announcements by the Chief Minister. The search and rescue operations, of course, may have to continue for another 3 to 4 days. And of course, some bodies have been recovered. However, there are still several more persons who are missing and feared dead. And meanwhile, our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das also spoke to NF Railway Chief General Manager Anshul Gupta regarding the devastating landslide at the Tupul Railway Yard. It may be mentioned here that the NFR Chief General Manager is amongst the senior officials who are present at the disaster site and monitoring the entire operations.
We are joined in by the General Manager of Northeast Frontier Railway, Mr. Anshul Gupta, who has right now reached the spot at Tupul Railway Yard where this massive landslide took place. Well, sir, first of all, we'd like to know from you, a disaster has struck in one of the ambitious project of the railways. Can you please brief us on it?
Actually, I think 2 days back, uh, there was a heavy landslide from the hilltop. You can see, and then not only it damaged our yard, but a lot of establishments where these army people from the territorial army they were staying for the protection of this alignment as well as our contractual staff. Our three supervisors were also there. So around 81 people they washed away.
Well, sir, we have seen two back-to-back disasters striking railway infrastructure. One we saw in Haflong, and right now here this ongoing railway project, Jiribam Imphal railway project, which has the world's highest pier bridge. So somewhere, do you think it's a matter to be examined?
So as you have seen, this landslide is not only at this spot, but when you come from Imphal to this place, The entire highway and other things, they are already under the debris, lot of debris because of the heavy landslide. And this has happened because there has been extraordinary heavy rains in last few days, and that is what caused this heavy landslide here also. I think in last many years, people have not experienced such a heavy rainfall, and that is the main cause which has caused such type of uh, rain cuts, landslides, and mudslide. So our target to bring railways up to this Topol yard was March 2023, and we think that we will be able to maintain the same target of March 2023. As regards Badarpur Lumding section, I have already told that train traffic we will restore by 12th of July, despite heavy rains which are taking place in last few days again, and there are few sites which have again developed. But we have increased our resources in terms of machine and other manpower, and we are hopeful that by 12th July, that section the rail traffic will start.
So, sir, you are attributing to this excessive heavy rainfall and not to the excavation work or the construction work that is going
No, no,
on.
there was no excavation work going on because this, what you have seen, this was already there for last 8 years. No work was being done in last few days, and this has of heavy rains. Also been reported that at the hilltop there was some farming. I think banana cultivation was going on, and that some water reservoir was also there from where the water supply was being taken, and that is one of the probable cause, the seepage of water which weakened this hill, and ultimately they caused this landslide, heavy landslide. But anyway, we will again examine. We have already requested the state government and other agencies that wherever such types of public transport system is going on, is there, such type of cultivation should be disciplined so that the hill remains like hill. So we have already brought geologists, and they will further examining the soil strata, the hillsides, what protection, additional protection we have to take. Though we have already taken all the protections while building.
পৰিমল শুক্লবৈদ্য জয়ন্তমল্ল বৰুৱা এণ্ড আমাৰ প্ৰিন্সিপাল ছেক্ৰেটাৰী কল্যাণ চক্ৰৱৰ্তী, আমাৰ APDCL-ৰ MD, গোটেইবিলাক অফিচাৰে ইয়াত আছে। শিলচৰ টাউনত নাও অনলি 22 ট্ৰান্সফৰ্মাৰ ইজ not left to be connected. By evening, we hope that another 11 DTR will be connected. Usually, Silchar town at peak hour, we consume 23 megawatts of electricity. Yesterday evening, we consumed 22 megawatts of electricity, meaning thereby that 90% of area has already been, electricity has been restored. It will be finally restored by tomorrow. So far as mobile link is concerned, Airtel and Jio has almost restored. 10 or 12 in each are left, but progress in VSNL is very slow. So I am going to take up the matter with VSNL authority. As Airtel and Jio is concerned, they have the mobile network. Now I will visit Betukandi. Let me see that if we can do something now. যদি পচিবল হয়তো আমি কৰিব পাৰিম, আৰু পচিবল নহ'লেও আমি নেক্সট ষ্টেজত আমি কৰিম। Regarding Betukandi beach, CID has been asked to register a case in Guwahati. So the case will be registered in Guwahati. People will be interrogated in Guwahati, and case will be investigated from Guwahati. It will be done by the CID under a STF, and there will be special task force will be constituted under ADGP CID. Case will be registered in Guwahati. Arrested, they have to take bail in Guwahati, not in Silchar. How many people are there? As of now, we have information of 6 people, but let's see that how things unfolded. We have ordered investigation by CID. FIR to Silchar SPL lodge korisile, but now we have taken it to the next level.
What are the measures taken to prevent any such movements in future?
ভাল একেটাক পাই গলে ভাল মেজাৰ হৈ যাব, নিজে নিজে they will get the message. once will once so future flood, it is all depend on weather. Jodi man-made নহয়, we can resist it up to a level. So ইয়াত যিবিলাক ইৰিগেশ্যনৰ সুইচ গেট আদিৰ কমপ্লেইন আছিলে মানুহৰ, now I'll go there and I'll see personally. যদি মানুহে কোঅপাৰেট নকৰে, কোনেও এইটো কোঅপাৰেট, আপোনাৰ বেটুকান্দি যদি ডাইকটো মানুহে নাকাটিলেহেঁতেন, তাত ফাৰ্ষ্ট ৱেভ ছেকেণ্ড ৱেভৰ কথা নাই। চ' নাই চক এটা কথা, don't try to save anyone. ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টে কৰক নকৰক, মানুহেতো নিজৰ বস্তুটো ৰাখিব লাগিব। ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টতো আহে গুচি যাব, কিন্তু আজি যি মানুহৰ কষ্ট পালে সেইটোতো সেই মানুহকেইজনৰ কষ্ট পালে। চ' ইয়াত কাৰো ওপৰত ব্লেম চিফ্ট নহ'ব, যোনে কাটিছিল তাৰ ওপৰতে ব্লেম থাকিব। এণ্ড আই এম গোয়িং টু টেক ষ্ট্ৰিক্টেষ্ট একশ্যন এগেইনষ্ট দেম। এণ্ড গেট এই কোনো আৰ্গুমেণ্ট কৰি পেলাই nobody can get them spared.
And Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma also spoke exclusively to our Silchar correspondent Bikram Sarkar. Let's listen in.
Sir, what are the progress you have seen?
No, we are trying to close the bridge. Let's see how we'll be successful.
Sir, prediction is there that the third wave may come. So will it
It
protect?
might come up to 15th August. Situation will always remain volatile. But at this moment, water level is little down. So department is trying to do some work, but it might help, it may not help, you never know.
Okay, but the process is on.
Yeah, we are trying.
So CM in his third visit came today at Silchar again after visiting the Karimganj, and also he came here, visited the dike, the Bethipandi dike, which got breached, and the flood which took the massacre scene in entire Barak Valley. The process is going on. You can see we had a talk with the CM, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. Along with the team, he came here, he visited the dike, and also today at the DC conference office, after visiting some of the relief camps, he distributed the amount, compensation amount, to some of the deceased family who died at this flood, during this flood. You are watching Northeast Live with video journalist Nirmal Malakar and Vikram Sarkar from Silchar.
And we have a big breaking news coming in at this point in time. One person accused of having links with the jihadi terror group and other radical groups has been arrested in Guwahati. That's right, viewers. The arrested individual has been identified as Inamul Haq, who is an employee at the Dispur guest house. However, more details into this big story are currently awaited. A big breaking news at this point in time, viewers, coming in from right here, Guwahati City. One person who is accused of having links with the jihadi terror groups and other radical groups has been arrested in Guwahati. The arrested individual has been identified as Inamul Haq, who is an employee at the Dispur guest house in Guwahati. However, more details regarding this big development are currently awaited. On to another big story now. A fierce gun battle between security forces and Ulfa independent rebels took place in eastern Assam's Tinsukia district. The encounter broke out at Sengeli in Kakopathar, where a group of Ulfa independent rebels were taking shelter at the residence of one Bhola Changmai. Meanwhile, as per inputs, one Ulfa independent rebel was gunned down by the forces in the encounter. The slain Ulfa independent rebel has been identified as Gyan Ochom. Meanwhile, police have confirmed that the rebels were a part of the action group of the Ulfa Independent. We have reactions coming in from Tinsukia SP. In fact, IED-like devices, detonators, and other sophisticated arms, including RPGs, were recovered by the police from the spot. As per sources, the rebels were involved in the assassination of Bordumsa PSOC Bhaskar Kolita.
So, সেইটো এতিয়া যিজন আমি পাইছোঁ তেওঁ জ্ঞান অসমৰ লগত ডেফিনেটলি তেওঁৰ হেৰিবোৰে থাকিব, লগৰীয়াবোৰে থাকিব। বহুতে বহুত কথাই ক'ব এতিয়া আমুক আছে তামুক আছে। মই সেইটো বস্তুলৈ যাব বিচৰা নাই। ইটছ এ কনফাৰ্ম গ্ৰুপ অফ আলফা, সিহঁতৰ একশ্যন গ্ৰুপেই হ'ব, সেইকাৰণে আহিছিলে। আৰু যিবোৰ ৰিক্ৰুটমেণ্টছ পোৱা গৈছে বা ইয়াৰ ওচৰৰ মানুহে যিটো কথা কৈছে অন ডেট বেচিছ সেইটো কথা ক'ম। কোন আছে ডেট ইজ নট ভেৰি ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট। উইথ আৰ্মছ আছে, আমাৰ চাৰ্চ অপাৰেশ্যন চলি আছে। তো কৈছে দেখোন ইয়াত যে যথেষ্ট বোকা সেইকাৰণে কিছুমান পোৱা নাই তথাপিতো আমি চেল কিছুমান পাইছোঁ গ্ৰেনেড মাৰি দিয়াৰ পিছত যিবোৰ টুকুৰা পোৱা যায় সেইবোৰ পোৱা গৈছে RPG চেল পোৱা গৈছে ফায়াৰ্ড বুলেট পোৱা গৈছে আৰু হেভাৰচেক যিবোৰ লৈ আহে পিঠিত তেনেকুৱা 4টামান আছে তাত আমি ছাছপেক্টেড ID হ'ব পাৰে তেনেকুৱা কিছুমান পাইছোঁ ডিটনেটৰ পাইছোঁ আৰু ব্যৱহাৰ কৰা কিছুমান আছিলে নাই কাৰো একো ক্ষতি হোৱা নাই
And may be mentioned here that the NIA had charge sheeted 7 Ulfa independent rebels for the killing of the Bordumsa OC back in 2018. And on to another big story from the region. Dengue cases in Manipur's border town of Amore is on the rise. Following that, an awareness program was conducted in order to prevent further spread of the disease. Fogging of medicine at various places was also conducted in More town, and particularly in those areas where dengue positive cases were detected. As per reports from District Malaria Department, a total of 18 positive cases were detected. And of the total cases, 11 positive cases were from the More Ward number 7, Chawangphai village, 5 active cases from Tongalhan village, 1 case from Khonomphai village, and 1 case from the M. Chanu village. It may be mentioned here that teams of Integrated Disease Surveillance Program on the 24th and 25th of June had collected 77 samples from T. Tongalhang and its nearby villages, along with some samples from Subdivisional Hospital More, and sent it to the Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, or RIMS, in Imphal for confirmation of the dengue cases, of which 18 returned positive. Besides, it may be noted here that a 9-year-old from T. Tongalhan village of More subdivision had died due to dengue on the 17th of June at RIMS, Imphal. On to Sikkim now. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang today informed that the government is planning to provide ambulances to 7 colleges across Sikkim. The announcement comes after the mysterious death of a student within the premises of the Nar Bahadur Bhandari Degree College at Tadong. Many alleged that the 20-year-old Sam Shering Lepcha could have been saved had there been an ambulance at the college. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister also said that the budget for the ambulance service will be passed in the next assembly session. He also added that the ambulance service will have an assigned driver and also assigned nurses if the college is far from a health center or hospital. Assigning medical officers will also be considered.
डिमान्ड आएको छ कि प्रत्येक कलेजेसहरुमा चाहिँ एम्बुलेन्स हुनुपर्छ एम्बुलेन्स सेवा दिनुपर्छ भन्ने एउटा डिमान्ड आयो सही डिमान्ड हो सीसीएस लाई हाम्रो सचिव स्वास्थ्य विभाग आनन्द चावला मैले फोन गरेर हामीले पक्का दिनै पर्छ हामीले कलेजेसहरुमा अब हामी एम्बुलेन्स दिउ अनि एम्बुलेन्स सेवा प्रदान गरौँ र 7 वटा कलेजेसहरुमा हामी यो सप्लिमेन्ट्रीमा धनराशि राखेर हामी प्रत्येक कलेजलाई एक वटा एम्बुलेन्स हामी प्रदान गर्छौं जस्तै नरबहादुर भण्डारी डिग्री कलेजमा हामीले एम्बुलेन्स हामी दिन्छौं ड्राइभर पनि दिन्छौं हामी नर्सेस पनि दिन्छौं तर त्यहाँ त्यति डाक्टरको जरुरत पर्दैन किनभने यदि कुनै पनि नानी है तपाईको सिरियस भयो स्टुडेन्ट हो त्यस्तो भयो तुरुन्त हामी मणिपालमा लान सक्छौं एसटीएनएम अस्पतालमा लान सक्छौं यति टाढा कलेजहरु छ त्यो कलेजमा चाहिँ हामी विचार गर्छौं कि उहाँलाई मेडिकल अफसर एक जना हामी त्यहाँनिर दिन्छौं अनि यो विचारमा अनि फाइल पनि एप्रुभ भइसकेको छ तर यसको निम्ति हामीले एम्बुलेन्स किन्नको निम्ति हामीले धनराशि राख्नुपर्छ र आउँदो सप्लिमेन्ट्री बजेटमा धनराशि राखेर यसलाई पास गर्नेछौं.
Not to another big national focus now. In a significant development, the Supreme Court today came down heavily on former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma. Suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma, whose comments on the prophet triggered massive anger amongst Gulf nations and protests across the country, should apologize to the country, the Supreme Court said today. India's apex court further went on to say that Nupur Sharma is single-handedly responsible for what is happening in the country. The Supreme Court was reacting to a petition by Nupur Sharma to transfer all FIRs filed against her over the comments to Delhi. Nupur Sharma urged in her application to transfer all the cases against her in different states to Delhi, as she said that she is constantly receiving threats to kill her from different states. And today, in its ruling, Justice Surya Kant said, and I quote, "We saw the debate on how she was incited, but the way she said all this and later says that she was a lawyer, it is shameful. She should apologize to the whole country," unquote. The apex court has further refused to grant relief to Sharma for transferring all FIRs registered against her to Delhi. It may be recalled here that towards the end of May, Nupur Sharma, then a spokesperson for the BJP, had made a comment on Prophet Muhammad during a TV debate, sparking massive outrage globally. As the clip from the debate went viral, at least 14 nations, mostly from the Middle East, slammed India over the comments. Thereafter, the BJP, in an attempt to control the damage, suspended Sharma from the party. Meanwhile, Congress leader Renuka Chaudhary has reacted on the Supreme Court's remarks on Nupur Sharma. Renuka Chaudhary, while talking to the media, attacked the BJP by stating that the party as a whole should apologize to the nation.
The Supreme Court has taken cognizance of Nupur Sharma today, and they are talking about it. But in my opinion, I think it is the entire BJP that should answer for this. And they should apologize to the nation for the kind of divisive policies and politics that they do, as well as for the fact that they have spread so much in their hate speeches. So I think it's not just Nupur Sharma. Don't use a woman as a Balika Bakra, but the entire BJP should apologize to the country.
And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you for watching.
At BJP aside, the CPM and the Congress have at least come out in the open saying that your demand for a separate Tripura land
It's constitutional.
is constitutional. Why is the BJP not forthcoming in saying that it is a constitutional demand? What do you think?
Wasbir, please understand one thing. 70 years we have suffered. I'm not asking for some